Hey Lou, what kind of music do rabbits like? Hip hop. I don't know. That's too corny. Aldo Leopold wrote in a Sand County Almanac one morning as the sun began to brighten the sky, of all the different birds that he heard saying good morning, and each one would call at a different level of candlelight. And I look at each day of advancing spring as a new friend or an old friend returning. And today, the chipping sparrow has returned to Mountaindale. And that's an old friend. You can hear that little chip off in the distance, that little trill off in the distance. I don't know whether you'll be able to hear it on here or not, so you'll have to take my word for it, but the chipping sparrow has returned, and now we just count the days until the old barn swallow comes home, and just keep checking off the old friends that are coming around. The quote I have today is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Be silly, be honest, be kind. I think that's a pretty good target for life, isn't it? Be silly, be honest, be kind. So yesterday, Monday, we talked about how Jesus entered the temple and cleared everybody out. And I told you that he had the authority to do that. Well, that wasn't apparent to everybody as we look at Matthew 21, verses 23 through 27. And when he entered the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came up to him as he was teaching and said, "By what authority are you doing these things? And who gave you this authority?" Jesus answered them, "I also will ask you one question. And if you tell me the answer, then I also will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, from where did it come? From heaven or from man?" And they discussed it among themselves, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will say to us, 'Why then did you not believe him?' But if we say from man, we are afraid of the crowd, for they all hold that John was a prophet." So they answered Jesus, "We do not know." And he said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things." So if you study the book of Matthew, or if you followed along in our study of the book of Matthew, any of the Gospels for that matter, you know that they had been trying to trap Jesus for some time, trying to figure out some way that they could get him, because they were fearful of trying to attack him in a crowd. They knew that he had too much support around him, so they had to come up with a plan. How are they going to get him? And that's what we see going on here. He's went into the temple, he's cleared out the temple, and now he's going back into the temple and teaching and healing every day. And they're asking him, "Who gives you this authority?" And they're trying to get him to trip over himself or try to make some kind of blasphemous claim. And with the no answer, that's what they're going to say. They're going to say, "This man claims he is God."
What about the cinder block? There's one right here. I'll grab it. Ooh. Ooh.
So normally you would have all of this mulch, wood chips, straw, hay in a building where you've had your cows over winter. But we have to clean the trailer out, and we've hauled pigs and cows and horses and everything else, so it's long overdue for being cleaned out. We're going to take everything we have in here and put it in with our pigs for a while and let them aerate it, stir it up, and compost it in, and then we'll harvest it back out of there and take it to the fields or use it in pots or whatever.
What does Joel Salatin call it? The carbonaceous diaper?
Yeah, this is the carbonaceous diaper. He was on carbon sequestration long before it was a product. You like that already, piggies?
It's probably pretty noisy on mine. Try to hurry with this process so that it doesn't interrupt.
Thick?
No, noise.
What about it?
I was scraping it. It's probably coming through pretty loudly.
Come out of there, Lou. Lou, come out of there.
Lucy loves the piggies.
He's crazy about pigs.
Her favorite day is the day we get pigs.
Well,
and you have all the legalities
I
of
was going to
growing
say
it.
the government is in the way of things that...
So there's a variety of issues.
I don't think we can talk about hemp during Easter week.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Maybe we cut this part out and save it. So this is caked in here. Mikey said long overdue. Way past due. Ugh.
Earlier, we talked about the ways that the Jewish leadership was trying to, had been for the last, so many chapters, so many periods of time, had been trying to trap Jesus, had been trying to get him to blaspheme. And now they have him at the Passover week where he just caused a stir in the temple. He just chased everybody out. He just really messed up the economic system by chasing everybody out. I'm sure a lot of those people were back in there this day. He chased them out on Monday. They're probably back on Tuesday, back doing the same thing, selling and buying and whatever they needed to do there. But it was still a threat to the economic system for him to be there teaching that the sacrifice was not lasting, but what he had to offer was lasting. So they can't get him to openly admit. He has openly admitted, and they know who he is. They understand who but God could call the dead from the grave. And if you look at John, in the book of John, I don't have the chapter pulled up right in front of me now, but the whole reason that they're out to get him, the whole reason that there are a lot of crowds going out to see him on Palm Sunday is because of him calling Lazarus out of the tomb. And there was a plot to kill Lazarus. There's a plot to kill Jesus. And now they're just searching for whatever opportunity they can to try to get him.
I didn't know there was a plot to kill Lazarus.
Well, because Jesus raised him from the dead, so he was an example of the power that Jesus had. So they didn't want Lazarus to be anywhere around, because they didn't want him testifying, hey, this is how great my friend is. He called me from the grave. I was dead for days. And the leadership didn't want him to be testifying. So as Palm Sunday begins, as the Passover is about to begin and Jesus is going to enter the city, they know he's coming because he's kind of separated himself away from everybody for a period of time. And so now he's coming back into public view again. He's coming to the Passover. He's arranged for a place for him and his disciples to have a meal. And the people want to see the man who called Lazarus from the tomb. So, but the leadership now, because they have a nice system going on. They got a nice economic system. They got a nice system of power set up. So Jesus is a threat to that from the Jewish perspective. Well, the Romans don't really care about that. The Romans don't care if the Jews are upset. So the Jews got to turn it into a reason. What can we get the Romans to be concerned about this for? So the Jews, they don't want Lazarus around. They don't want Jesus around. So how can we get to Jesus? How can we get to him? Well, if we can get him to blaspheme, if we can get him to say openly that he is God, then we'll have a charge against him. So this scripture that we have today from Matthew 21, he says, you tell me where John's baptism came from. You tell me where it came from, and then I'll tell you where I come from. And they refuse to answer because they're afraid of the large crowds. They're afraid of the large crowds that are around Jesus, because those same people that were following Jesus are the same ones that followed John. So they're worried about that. So they don't want to say that it's from man, because the people will be upset. They don't want to say it's from heaven, because then that'll be admitting that Jesus is right. So they have to try to figure out how to trip him up. So why didn't the Jewish leadership just murder him? Why didn't they just kill him?
Right. That's what I was about to ask you.
Because they were afraid of the people. They were probably to some degree afraid of the real power that he actually had, but more so they're afraid of the people rioting against them and giving him more credibility. That's why they got to get the Romans involved. So how we get the Romans involved?
And that's what they're trying to plot now.
Well, that's what they're plotting, because so Jesus has these thousands of people. Remember, there are thousands of people following Jesus around. It's not just a few people. So as he enters, remember, there's at least 250,000 people that are going to be offering sacrifices. So there are probably 1 million or more people there. Probably a couple million people have gathered for the Passover, and tens of thousands are probably gathered around this guy who can heal people, who can call people from the tomb. So now he goes into the temple and kicks over the money changers' tables. Now they try to get him to blaspheme, and that's kind of what they're gonna because they know who he is. They want him to admit it. They want to have some kind of evidence. So when they ask, what authority do you have? They know his authority comes from God, and they're fearful of that. So they want to put him before the Romans to say, hey, this guy's starting a riot. This guy's starting a movement here. He's going to try to overtake this government here. And that's what they're going to take him before their own high council, and then turn him over to Pilate and the Romans and try to have him tried there to find out, what authority do you have here?
So it's past, like, has the sacrifices already started at this point in the week?
No, because we're only on Tuesday. The sacrifices will start Thursday night.
Thursday night. How often
Depending
do they
on
do-
how you kept the calendar, you either had sacrifices on Thursday night or Friday night. So they have their Passover meal on Thursday night, crucify him on Friday morning. So the sacrifice for us is made on Friday.
Right.
And really, we're talking about a guy who says, if you had known me, you'd known the Father. If you know the Father, you know me. Those types of verses like that. I probably have that backwards and twisted, but the idea that Jesus is saying, I am one with the Father, and then he comes into the temple and says, this is my Father's house, you've made it a den of thieves. He's laying all claim to that he is the Messiah, that he is God in the flesh. There's no mistaking that through Scripture. Anybody who denies that isn't studying properly. So Jesus says all through the book of Matthew and all through the Gospels, we have repeated reference to him being God. John chapter 1, verses 1 through 3 and verse 14 all make claim that Jesus is God. And here in the temple, who would have authority to come into the temple and chase everybody out and then teach? He's not sanctioned by the Jewish leadership to teach there, but he just marches into the temple and starts teaching. That is supernatural authority, that Jesus is God and his authority comes from the Father above.
It's also important to remember, like, a lot of people mystify that and say, oh, because he is God, he didn't feel or didn't endure all the pain and suffering that we endure.
Well, and this week, above all weeks, we see the humanity of Christ. I mean, he's going to suffer. We will see the flesh suffer. In the garden, he says, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And he has to, I don't know whether he has to, but he does receive counsel and support from angels to strengthen him and pray with him and give him defense against all that's going on around him. So he is every bit human. He feels every bit that we do. So we have to put that mystical side away, because he feels everything. That, we talk about kinsmen redeemers. There's too many. You can get sidetracked on too many lessons if you're not careful. But in order for us to understand, and in order for us to, in our humanity, to understand what's going on this week, we have to understand that Jesus Christ is truly man. He's truly man. That's the way R.C. Sproul would say it. Others would say he's fully man, that he gets thirsty the way I thirst. He gets hungry the way I thirst. He's been tempted in every way that I've been tempted. He's felt everything that I've felt, and he's conquered all those things, and he went innocently to the cross. That's what people don't understand. Oh, just some dude went to the cross. No, but he conquered in every way that I fail. He wins in every way that I lose. He's truly man. And I'm getting too far ahead of myself talking to you, but that's as we get to Friday, we see the human side on Friday.
It's heartbreaking.
And then on Sunday, we see the God side, because who else can call themselves out of the tomb? He says, I lay down my life and I take it up again. So when they question what authority he has, it is the prime authority. He is all authority above every other authority. Hey, piggers, you better get back in there. Lucy, leave them piggers alone. Look at their little bellies all swelled up. Come here. Come on, Lou. Let them be. Come on. Out here.
Oops. Guess I better not do that. It's not a help. It's a hindrance.
You trying to throw it on the ground?
I was trying to get it in the wheelbarrow.
I'm going to have to use the shovel probably. It's getting too loose to...
This is going faster than what I thought it would go.
Because you're a good helper.
I try. She likes our piggies. We don't do bad work.
You just don't do much of it.
Speak for yourself.
I don't know if that's how George used to say it or not.
George.
George.
Oh.
You don't do bad work. Or something. Yeah. Come on.
Woo! That was almost dangerous.
I'll scoop it anymore with that.
I was trying to keep it back toward the wall so it didn't go over the edge.
Hey, piggers, you stay in there. Stay in there, piggers.
They want you to come out and play.
They ate that stuff. See their fat bellies?
Yeah. They're so cute.
Come on, Tina. Get out of there. Let them alone. A plus?
A plus. Now we just need to sweep it and spray it.
I think we'll pull those mats out down there, see if the thing's good. We'll spray them, everything.
Yeah. I'm going to open this. Do you want me to open this back up and lock it? Since we're going to have it open anyway. No, because...
We're going to pull these mats out. And
okay.
I don't remember how these mats come in and out, honestly.
I don't know either. Let's lay these down.
Three Stooges.
You're trying to hurt me.
Luke.
Are they in it? Are they in the stuff?
Yeah, come on, Lucy, get out of there.
Did you get video of the stuff?
I had the camera sitting there for a while.
That's so fun. Leave them alone, Lucy.
Checking it out, Piggers?
They're investigating.
What kind of new smells?
Should we take that bucket out?
Okay.
Look at them digging. That's so cool. Just a little maintenance. Oh. Yeah. I mean, they're only 30 years old, so. Oof. And hopefully it has gas and hopefully it works. The things we do for our children. Speaking of children, here comes some off the bus. You're so dramatic. We took the trailer up there, put all the stuff in the pig pen.
You're about $10 worth of haterade is what you are.